guys, so I'm doing a quick video because I really want you to see my journey as to how I prepare for presentations. I'm preparing for a presentation called City Symposium, focusing on quality education. So City Symposium is an initiative based in London, Ontario, with centers, activists, researchers, artists, and educators. Is it? Okay, there's like 4 streams that they center, but there's a different theme every month or every few months that they have the symposium. And I was asked in April 2019 to present for this one. I waited a whole year and a month to be a part of this, but I'm super excited because this is my second presentation throughout my doctoral journey, and I'm only in my first year of my doctorate. The whole point of me starting my YouTube channel was for me to document my education journey, because doing my doctorate was something that I never thought that I could do. So that's the intention, and I'm starting it off by doing this video to kind of walk you through how I prepare for a presentation. And so this is going to be it. If you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, go do that, please. Sending positive vibes always. I think one of the hardest things about preparing for a presentation is trying to think of how I could be creative in my presentation so I'm not boring. But at the same time, upon this creativity, how do I make sure that it doesn't seep so deep that not everyone understands? I want everyone who's seeing my presentation to be able to understand my work. So the 4 people presenting, we're all researchers in education. We all do work in education. However, for this particular presentation, they broke it up in 4 different categories. So there's artist, there's researcher, civil servant, and then there's activist. So I'm considered the artist, although the way in which I do my research and present my work is through storytelling, which is an indigenous form, an African indigenous form of education and passing on knowledges. It's seen as also artistic because of the way in which I tell the story. And so I accepted that. And however, I'm like, how artsy can I get? Like, how deep can I get with my poetry? Because some of my poems, they make reference to things that, Black people who are ingrained in Black culture and African culture would understand. Like, I make reference to Rastafari, in one of my poems. I make reference to just things that I'm like, yo, if it's mainly a non-Black crowd and older and our researchers, like, will they really be able to understand? So this is what I'm trying to navigate right now. Like, how could I include some of my strong poetry in here that I feel like are so connected to my research in a way where even non-Black folks will understand? So this is my struggle right now. I'm like, shh. And then I'm like, when I go into white spaces, right? And I'm not saying academic spaces are white spaces, but let's get real. Like, a lot of these spaces rarely have Black people. So this is why I'm like, I'm gonna take up as much space as I can and be as African and as Black as possible, because we need to emphasize our presence in these spaces. However, most of the time, people within these spaces are not people of color, right? And so I often go and I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna do my spoken word, how can I make it fitting for this group? And I'm like, why am I taking out the most important aspects of it and making it as white as possible so they can understand? But if I do a presentation where someone doesn't understand, I won't be invited into other spaces, right? So this is the challenge within academia, and recognizing that, like, they don't make it inclusive enough to have people like us feel comfortable going into these spaces and just doing our work as we naturally do, but more so having to constantly critique ourselves to see whether we fit at all within these spaces. Yeah, so that's just something I'm reflecting on right now. So it's May 6th. My presentation is tomorrow. I'm starting to get nervous, and this always happens because I'm like, oh my God, what if I mess up? What if I repeat words? I have a habit of like sticking onto a word that could apply to many things and consistently using it throughout my presentation. So now I'm like overthinking, am I gonna continue doing that tomorrow when I present? I talked to a sister of mine and she's like, nah, just meditate, get your head in the game. You already know this. And it's true. Like, I know this information. This is the work that I do. But every time I have to present something, I always doubt myself. That's why I need to work on my throat chakra, my voice, and continue to speak and continue to put myself in positions to present so I could get better and become more confident. So I'm gonna do it regardless, but like right now I'm getting super nervous and now I'm questioning my whole presentation and how I'm going about it. And so it is 12:30 a.m. on May 7th, so that means my presentation is later on today. I literally scrapped the whole presentation I had, and then I realized, I'm like, this is not a research conference, this is literally like a TEDx type talk thing. But now that it's a webcast and it's through the computer, I do have to change the way I was going to present. So what I really need to do is just be very genuine and be very honest in my expression and be very natural in my expression. And at the same time, y'all, you don't understand, I'm stressing over this. It's 10 minutes long, but I have only 10 minutes to convince people why Indigenous African-Centred Education is necessary for students of African descent. So this is how I am. Like right now, I'm rewriting everything. I literally scrapped what I had. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is 9 o'clock. And now I'm getting back to finalizing all of my work. So last night I completed my slides, and I just have my call to action that I need to come up with, and I just wanted to sleep on it, think on it, just so that it could be as strong as it should be. But before that, I have my headphones. I'm gonna meditate, just get my mind right, because today's the big day and I know nerves are gonna kick in later on, and I need to make sure that my mind is in the right state, and making sure that I understand the power that my ancestors have given me in order to do this work, and their guidance in front and behind everything that I do, as well as show grace to the Most High for giving me the confidence to actually do this work. So that's what I'm gonna do now, and then I'm gonna get back to the business. So I basically just set up how I am going to be presenting. So my sisters were on Zoom. They told me about the level of my computer, how high, how low it needs to be. They told me about the sound. I put this behind me, repping South Sudan all day, South Sudan, and then repping Dobijoki Personal Development, UR Power Radio. And then I started setting up a little bit here. Don't mind the mess. I'm working right now. I just need to clean things up a little bit, make sure things are nice and neat. And I'm gonna go in. I feel so much more confident. I went over it with my sisters. Thank God I did that. I wasn't going to. I was gonna be like, no, I want to surprise you. But I decided to practice with them. And that was a positive reassurance that, I know what the heck I'm doing, man. I'm just telling my own story, dog. So I'm excited for that. I decided that I'm gonna stand instead of sit down. So I have my whiteboard. I'm gonna put my little notes there just so I can remind myself of what to say and when. But it's gonna go down. I have my camera set up over there. Right now there's a concert going on, so okay, I'm on mute. Right now there's a concert going on. There's an artist who's showcasing her talent. And then I go on at 7:26 exactly. I spoke to the host ahead of time, and there's 100 people who've registered, and they might open up a few other spaces if they notice that more people are trying to enter the chat. So but yeah, I'm so excited. I know I'm gonna do well. God is good. I have my notes here, but I have everything in here. This is all the knowledge that I hold, and my ancestors are definitely gonna guide me throughout the whole thing. Peace. I'm gonna take up all the space, and I hope from whoever saw this realizes how much we need to check people, check white people, and check people of privilege, because we can't come into any spaces and feel safe, because there's gonna be people like that.